Despite losing the tag team titles to Stone Cold and Triple H at Backlash, Linda McMahon decides that it's only fair that The Undertaker gets a shot at Stone Cold Steve Austin's WWF title. Moreover, that there will be no interference on behalf of the Rattlesnake, nor on behalf of the American Badass. So the main event of Raw is set. Stone Cold Steve Austin defends the WWF title against The Undertaker. Austin, Triple H, Steph and Vince welcome Rikishi back to the WWF. Rikishi, somewhat reluctantly, shakes the hands of Austin, Triple H and Vince. Stone Cold proved on Raw that he's the greatest WWF champion of all time after beating The Undertaker, and that his war with the American Badass is over. Triple H reveals that now 2 has become 3. Stone Cold is that damn cold, Triple H is that damn good, and Rikishi is that damn savage. Vince takes to the mic and says you can call this group the unholy trinity of professional wrestling and that we can't be stopped. Triple H, Austin and Vince all smile, although Rikishi shows no emotion. Rikishi is given the mic, but before he can respond, Taker interrupts and says if he can't have a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin, then he's just going to have to take out his frustrations on Rikishi. Vince accepts on Rikishi's behalf. After his 3-on-1 handicap match on Raw, Chris Jericho comes to the ring and demands a match with Regal, one-on-one, but he's interrupted by Raven. Raven talks about people in power that claim to use their position for the greater good, but are no different from oppressors in times gone by. "What about me? What about Raven?" he asks. Jericho looks to Raven and replies, Do you not see what happened to me in Raw?" Raven argues that that's his whole point. "What about me? What about Raven?" Chris Jericho then chimes in, "What about Y2J?" Regal is on a Titantron in his commissioner's office, and says if both are willing to take a beating like Jericho did on Raw, then you can have it. You two pompous idiots against Haku and Rhino, right now. And in a tag team match, Chris Jericho and Raven defeat Haku and Rhino. After the match, Raven continues to fight with Rhino, with Haku in pursuit to the back, whilst the referee follows them. Back in the ring, Regal blindsides Jericho, hits the Regal cutter before waving to the crowd. Backstage, Eddie Guerrero tells the Hardy Boys he's been booked in a match with Christian and invites them to come watch. The Hardy Boys think about it for a second and agree to watch Latino Heat in action tonight. Test defeats Al Snow. Backstage, Undertaker tells Kane, "Hey, nice work at the X Factor on Raw. You got my back tonight, just in case a certain pair of sons of bitches turn up?" Kane nods his head. Regal is in his commissioner's office, talking on the phone, feeling rather pleased with the attack on Jericho earlier. Jericho attacks Regal, and then they brawl out of the office. Y2J manages to gain the upper hand, throwing Regal wall to wall down the corridor. And then seeing a refrigerator room, Jericho opens up the door, throws Regal in the room and locks him in, telling Regal to cool down. Jericho smiles as he walks away, leaving Regal trapped. Eddie Guerrero with the Hardy Boys accompany him defeat Christian with Edge. The Hardy Boys prevent more offbeat shenanigans from Edge, allowing Eddie Guerrero to get the victory on Christian. Backstage, Tess asks the coach and Paul Heyman if they've seen Stephanie. He then bumps into the Big Show and Vince. Vince echoes his daughter's sentiments from Raw and tells Tess if he knows what's good of him to keep well away. When Tess makes a challenge for another match against Big Show laughs as Big Show and Vince McMahon walk away. Edge mourns over Christian's defeat when Angle comes in to the locker room. Angle says, "Yeah, that defeat was totally Latinous." Edge and Christian give Angle a puzzled look as Edge firmly says, "That's not even a word." As Edge tends to Christian, Benoit comes in to attack Angle. Seeing the attack, Edge helps Christian retreat as Benoit continues to punch Angle to the ground. Before their upcoming 8-man tag team match, all 5 members of Right to Censor backstage hold their hands up high as Steven Richards vows that despite the little bit of tension between them, it's for their own good of the WWF. Despite giving the impression that Right to Censor is still on the same page, the Right to Censor lose in an 8-man tag team match as they lose to Steve Blackman, Spike, Bubba and Devon Dudley. After the match, there continues to be more bickering, finger-pointing and blaming within the Right to Censor. Backstage, Chris Jericho's taken William Regal's chair in the Commissioner's office. There's a knock at the door. Jericho turns the chair around and manages to find a towel to cover his face. Kurt Angle comes in the room when Jericho tries to put on his best English accent. "Yes, sunshine?" Angle asks the commish if he's feeling okay. Jericho responds, "Just a little under the weather. How can I help, old chap?" Angle says he wants Chris Benoit in a match, where Jericho, trying his best imitation of Regal, tells Angle how, "I was impressed with your iron will against Benoit at Backlash. And I would see more of it tonight, old chap." Jericho sniggers to himself as Angle, oblivious to who's in the chair, smiles at the compliment. Jericho, as Regal, books Kurt Angle in a gauntlet match. Jericho tells Angle, "You will get Benoit tonight, but first you have to go through APA in singles matches before you can get to Chris Benoit." Angle thinks to himself, "Yes!" and tells the Commissioner Regal what a great idea that is, before thinking to himself, "Wait, I've got to wrestle 3 matches tonight?" As Angle walks off. Jericho continues to laugh to himself under the towel. Vince is with Triple H, Stephanie, Big Show, Steve Austin and Deborah. He says that business is almost taken care of for tonight. There's one more piece of business and then we're complete. The match, Lita defeats Terry, as it's shown China watching on the TV backstage. Kane is walking backstage and is confronted by Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kane isn't afraid to start a fight. As he moves forward towards them, Austin and Triple H backtrack, but then Kane is jumped from behind by the Big Show before the Gamer and the Rattlesnake stomp Big Red Machine lying on the ground. Raven, Rhino and Haku continue to brawl backstage with a referee in screenshot. Raven drives Rhino into a shutter but can't make the 3 count to win. He's clearly after the Hardcore Championship. Haku breaks up the count. Haku then throws Raven into the shutter himself before attacking Rhino as Rhino tries to run away. Vince thanks Big Show for his help and is told that he can have the rest of the night off. Big Show smiles and walks off. In the gauntlet match, first Kurt Angle defeats Farouk and then manages to pin Bradshaw. However, the iron will that Jericho's Regal alluded to earlier isn't enough to stand Chris Benoit as the Crippler gains the victory by countout. Angle walks off, thinking enough is enough. Big Show is smiling to himself, bag in hand, and he's walking off, but he's ambushed by Test. Big Show manages to stop Test from attacking him, but as Big Show charges forward towards him, he walks right into a big boot. Angle, now wondering why Jericho, as Regal, had booked Angle in a gauntlet match, wants to know why Regal has put Angle in these 3 matches, only for Jericho to turn the chair around and reveal that it was Y2J that booked this gauntlet. Angle is livid as Jericho smiles. But Jericho's not smiling at Angle, he's looking at somebody else behind him. As Jericho turns around to see a toothless grin, Benoit attacks Angle again. It's nearly time for the main event, as the camera shows Rikishi walking backstage. As you can see, some of the talent who are sitting glaring at Rikishi. 2 of these wrestlers in particular are the tag team of Too Cool. Rikishi stands for a moment as he locks eyes with Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 before heading to the ring. And in the main event, The Undertaker defeats Rikishi by DQ thanks to interference from Stone Cold and Triple H. After the match, Austin and Triple H continue to attack The Undertaker. They then raise Rikishi's hand in victory, however Rikishi puts his arm down. He walks off as Austin and Triple H look bewildered. Undertaker comes in, tries to get a smidgen of revenge, but Austin and Triple H manage to escape as SmackDown goes off the air. 71, yeah, I know it's going to take some time before we get some decent ratings, but that's kind of what I was expecting, to be honest.